All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, double honors to the elders pushing the truth, peace of the elect worldwide. Uh, Yahweh been the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai been the name of his only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now, these red dragons are trying to crash the dollar on purpose, and they've been trying to crash the dollar on purpose uh, to bring in their great reset and their new system. And Zimbabwe is a good example of what is going to happen to the US dollar. It's not going to have value. See, meaning you're going to have to use more of it to purchase things. Milk might be $100. Milk might be $1,000. You see, they'll try to raise the the wages to match it, but it's gonna keep going up. Then you have hyperinflation, where it just goes out of control. Gas is $500 a gallon. You see, and they can keep trying to add zero to your wages and even it out, but it's not gonna be even. And these people gonna keep the corruption going. So once that happens, you're gonna have some people that's dead broke and they gonna rob and steal. They gonna take what they want. They gonna take what they need. Okay, and this is what these people is hoping on and planning, so they can bring in martial law. When this thing happens, they have the Rex Rex 84. Well, if the American people get out of hand, we can bring the military in and call martial law and lock their behinds up, and now we can control every movement that they make. See, we can bring our military in, bring our tanks on the streets, and we can lock them up and control them. And all of this is Bible prophecy, man. Every last bit of it. You see, and this is their plan. See, they've been planning just like in March. They signed the bill for the Cbdcs, and they signed it in March, and they plan on rolling it out in December. So this is how they planned it. It's just not in December. They just popped up and said, you know what? Let's get us some CBDCs. No, they already was planning on this thing even before March. They didn't just say, "Oh, you know what? March is a good time. We can, uh, we just want to get us some CBDCs." No, they was already planning on it years ahead of time, decades ahead of time. See, they've been planning on this thing since slavery. See, since the Civil War, since Reconstruction. See, they've been planning on this situation. That's why, uh, what's the guy name? Albert Pike, the one who wrote the book, Morals and Dogma. He already knew what the strategy was. The top Freemason that had his statue in Washington D.C. He was the only Freemason with his statue in Washington D.C. Like he was a part of the government or something. See, he already knew what these dragons was gonna try to do. Let's go into the prophecy. When you go into Second Esdras, it breaks it down perfectly. See, Esdras was one of the major prophets and leaders in the nation of Israel. See, here's his book that's in the 66 books. You see, his book was in the 66 books, but he had a second book that was taken out. See, that's why it's called First and Second Ezra. So in Second Ezra, at the end of his writings, the reason these dragons took it out because it tells you what's gonna happen. Okay, when you get to 15, I mean uh Second Ezra 15, starting at I'm gonna say 16, it say, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another." Why? Because the money is gonna crash. The dollar is gonna crash, and now everything in the economy is gonna be a problem. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. See, they ain't gonna be worried about no police. They coming to go get what they want or take what they want. Ain't gonna be no we worried about the police. No. Now verse 17 say a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. See, he not gonna be able to go into a city because you're gonna have martial law. Martial law is gonna kick in when all hell break loose. Look at verse 19. It says, "Man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." See, that lack of bread is all due to that dollar crashing, that dollar being devalued. See, this is why men is gonna have no pity upon their neighbors and destroy their houses with the sword, looking for goods, looking for food, looking for something to eat. See, looking for some water, something to drink, looking for something to heat their body up with, to start a fire with. See, this is what these people is gonna be doing. Okay, let's get verse 6. Chapter 6, Salakia. Chapter 6 say the same thing. It say suddenly, verse 22, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." Why is that? Because the dollar is going to crash, and the trade situation is going to be a problem. Because you got Russia, China, India, Iran, all these countries over there on the east, they starting their own money system. See, they've been planning on having their own money system for years. So when they start their own money system and having the Cbdc's, America is not gonna be able. The dollar ain't gonna mean nothing. A dollar ain't gonna be global no more. It's not gonna be the top dollar. It's not gonna be uh, the global currency for all these nations because now everything is revolving around the dollar, the petrodollar. What used to be the gold standard, but they took the gold standard away and put the dollar on it, pretty much. The dollar, the dollar followed with the euro and the pound. See, that's what replaced gold. So they finna get rid of that format. They finna get rid of that economic, that structure. And so when this happens, all hell is gonna break loose. Verse 23 is saying the trumpet shall give a sound. See, they're gonna blow a trumpet. I mean, they're gonna let it be known something is going down. The dollar is destroyed. The dollar has no value. They done dumped the dollar. They dropped the dollar. Now it don't have any value to it. Or you got to pay more money than you used to have to pay using that dollar. The value of that dollar done increased 100%, 200%, 300%. To which, when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. When they hear that inflation, it's hyperinflation, and everything going up, they gonna be afraid, and they gonna go and raid the stores. They gonna go and raid the houses. See, verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. See, they gonna go crazy. Look at what it say. And the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. See, that could be literally 3 hours. It don't take long to, once these people hear that the dollar is pretty much done crashed, and prices are going up, just like when they hear a hurricane coming and it's gonna cut out all the lights. You better go get you something to prepare for this storm, this calamity that's coming. And they all rush to the stores. The stores be packed. See, when the corona came and they told people you gotta stay in your house, we don't want you traveling around all the time. It's a deadly disease out here. They went and bought up all the toilet paper and raided the store. Then you couldn't go, the stores was empty. You couldn't go in there and find nothing. When the dollar crashed, that's when it's gonna be all hell breaking loose, because these Americans is gonna suddenly be afraid and panic and fight one another. And see, these elites, they've been planning on this situation for years, putting in laws to plan on this great crash. And it's in the scriptures. It is in the scriptures. It said, and it shall come to pass in that day, says the Lord, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. And that's talking about mainly that American dollar, because it's a global currency. All of the nations deal with the dollar, and they buy and trade with the dollar. But it's going to have a great crash. It's not going to hold its value. Okay. Let me see. Ezekiel. Um, mm, Let me try 17. Mm. Let me just see if I can find this verse in Ezekiel. Salakia. 7:19. It say, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because It is the stumbling block of their iniquity. See, they trusted in this silver and this gold and this money. It's about the bag. I'm trying to get the bag. I ain't worried about that God stuff, that Bible stuff that y'all talking about. The white man wrote that Bible. Who wrote that Bible? I ain't worried about that Bible. See, man, y'all need to get y'all a job and see, find something to do, man. It's about getting money, man. Only thing on my mind. You can't eat them books, like DMX said in Belly. Your kid can't eat them books, man. You need to get this money with me. See, that's what they thinking about, and that's gonna be their destruction. That they're not gonna be able to be delivered because they didn't make God their silver. They didn't make God their gold. They didn't make being obedient to Him their silver and gold, their treasure. That's why He say, store up treasure with Him. So when that day of wrath comes, now somebody can help you. Now somebody can save you. But that silver and gold cannot save you. It won't be a protection because it's gonna be thrown in the streets and removed. And that's what's happening to these uh, people's kingdom, the heathen and Edom. I'm gonna end it on that one. Because this is the end of these people's kingdom. Amos 9 and 12. But let's start with verse 11. It says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacles of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. See, the Israelites is going to get built back up. They're going to get raised back up because they fallen, and they had to serve slavery. He got kicked out their homeland, had to serve slavery. Verse 12, that they may possess the remnant of Edom. Now the so-called white man got to go into slavery under the house of David, meaning the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom of Israel, the elect, 144,000. It say, and all the heathen, see, not just the so-called white man, the Arabs, the Indians, the Africans, and I say Indians, I mean the East Indians, the Chinese, the Japanese, all of the Asians. See, these people's got to go into captivity under the Israelites. And this dollar crashing is going to be the starting point. It's starting the whole situation off. It's the end of Edom and the beginning of Jacob. Now I got to use that one just to prove my point. Verse 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world with his American dollar. See, and his American military with 5,000 military bases dominating the earth. It says, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. 144,000 Yahweh and the angels is going to destroy these dragons and these other heathens and take over the world. That's what Daniel 2:44. In the days of these kings, God shall set up a kingdom, set up a government, set up a military, set up a people, a nation that's going to destroy all of these other kingdoms and break them into pieces. I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, Hashem Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves scattered around the earth on slave ships, and through many captivities, our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.